Now, this video was touch and go for a second because the original plan was to, share what I picked up, not necessarily for Christmas, but just a couple of items I picked up during my traditional Mulberry and Longchamp end of year sales shopping. But let's just say I did get both in before Christmas, but each original unboxing just went terribly wrong. Like 2 out of 2 of them failed. So spoiler alert, I was just completely sent the wrong items by both companies. Like, what are the chances? So that's how my shopping ended for 2023. So I know I'm a little late and we are well into January, but again, I was hoping to film when I received the right items that I ordered, and unfortunately that just didn't work out. I'll explain as we go, and my gosh, this video is already kind of all over the place, but not to worry, I at least have one item to share, and that's what I'll do. So the original plan was to share what I picked up and do a final reflection on what all I've added to my collection in 2023, especially in terms of handbags and originally sneakers. So that's 2 big hints on what I would have been sharing in this video that is now no longer the case. Okay, I know this is getting really confusing, but suffice to say, even if things didn't completely work out, I do want to still give the original items I picked up an honorary mention, since I still think they are amazing. If you can get your hands on them, then great for you. Unfortunately, I was no longer able to, but if you still can, or if you did, then I'm so happy for you. And if any of this sounds interesting and you want to see what I picked up, or at least attempted to pick up from my favorite end of year sales, then please keep watching. Now, I've always been a sucker for Mulberry and Longchamp's biannual sales. They take place in the summer and winter, and it seems like I always manage to find a little something, and this time around was no different. My issue is that what has happened in the past is that sometimes I end up buying a sale variation of one of their classic designs, either in a seasonal style or color, that just ultimately did not work out for me. Like my Mulberry Basewater backpack or my Longchamp leather bag in the color terracotta, both of which I have since sold. And there was nothing wrong with those bags, either of them. They just weren't for me. I either settled for a style or color that might have saved me a couple of bucks at that time, but really they costed me in the long run. At the same time though, hindsight's 2020, right? I wouldn't have known if I hadn't tried them out. But I have a feeling when you see the items that I will be talking about in this video, you'll agree that that wouldn't have been the case this year. Not this time. I learned my lesson. But regardless, this is my first time running into so many issues with ordering online, as in both companies just completely sent me the wrong items. So that was fun. And while I did originally get both packages before Christmas, it was just a giant mess. Anyways, here we are now. So let's just dive into the unboxing / reveal part of the video. First, let's do Longchamp because I have absolutely nothing to unbox for you. But what I originally picked up were these white sneakers from their 2023 spring summer collection, originally priced at $235. They were on sale for $164, which I think is extremely reasonable for a pair of white classic sneakers. So a very quick story time. I saw them online, I ordered them, they were shipped the same day, they arrived maybe 2 to 3 days later. So everything was so smooth, so seamless up until then. However, what happened was they sent me a size 7 instead of a size 6. But for a hot minute, I did try to convince myself that the size 7s would be okay, but no, they looked like clown shoes on me. So I did call to do a return and exchange, and when I finally got through, they were super nice. They told me to send those back, and after they had received them, they will then proceed to send me the pair in the correct size. But because these were already a sale item, and even online, in my size, in a size 6, they were listed as being in limited inventory. And so what they told me to do instead was just to place a new order if I was worried about them being sold out. And that's just exactly what I did. As soon as I got off the phone, I went online, I ordered, I got the confirmation email, and I waited. I waited for 5 days, and then my order got canceled because the shoes were no longer available. Now, I'm going to be honest, I was a little heartbroken, having had them in my possession, having tried them on, and knowing how awesome they were. So, let's just take a moment to appreciate these sneakers from a distance. So this has a cowhide upper, a rubber sole, and the best part was hands down the iconic Le Pliage Russian leather counter on the back with the gold button detail. Like, how cute is that? I also like that it has the front of the gold button detail on the tongue of the sneaker. I think it's so gorgeous. I love how this just looks like an instant classic, even though it is considered a seasonal piece. And it's just such a fun take on Longchamp's traditional Le Pliage line. And I would have had zero regrets purchasing these. The inside lining is more like a traditional sneaker, so it's not leather lined on the inside, which in my opinion just made them more cushier and just more comfortable. Like, it wears and feels like a tennis sneaker, which I love. Even in the size 7, like, you know how you can tell, right, when a shoe is just going to be comfortable? So yeah, I was head over heels. And with this, it would have made white sneaker number 2 added this year. So the first were my Dior Star sneakers, which I bought earlier this summer. Now, to be fair, the Dior sneakers were a 2023 wishlist item, so I am extremely happy to have crossed them off the list. But these are pricey. Not as pricey as my like Hermes day sneakers, but the Dior sneakers are just shy of $1,000. And the Longchamp ones would have been like 1/10 of the price. So it would have been nice to have had a more casual pair of grab-and-go white sneakers to just add into the rotation. Again, I'm pretty disappointed those didn't work out. I had considered the black versions, which are still available or are available at the time I'm filming this, but I don't know, I just really had my heart set on the white since I do gravitate more towards white sneakers, and I use my white sneakers a lot more than my black ones. Plus, I already have like my Hermes bouncing sneakers in black, which are my favorite pair of black sneakers that I own, and I'm 100% satisfied with those. So that's a fail number 1. Next, let's get into Mulberry. Now, I managed to have half of an unboxing, so I'll take that as a win. In short, I had ordered a couple of items off of their website online, 2 of which were correct. The last item, which was supposed to be a shirt from the Axel Arigato collection, was not the correct one. Again, they just completely sent me the wrong shirt altogether, and same deal. The actual one that I wanted had sold out by the time I received the package, so I couldn't even do an exchange. I could only do a return. So that was no fun, but we are going to look on the bright side here. So let me get to my actual one and only unboxing for this video, and it is a handbag. So what I had picked up was the mini Bayswater in the eggshell high shine leather. So I have already used her. That's why she's kind of open up, and that's why she already has a twilly on her. But this was originally priced at $1,165, and I picked this up for $815. So I think that was like a 30% off. So here's why I just couldn't resist myself and why I have no regrets adding this to my collection. So the mini Bayswater, as far as I know, is now considered part of their permanent collection, and this color is just such a wearable, timeless neutral. Like, neutrals from Mulberry hardly ever go on sale, and I must admit they had some very pretty like taupey colors this year that are a part of the sale, but just not in a bag style I was interested in. But when I saw this, it was an instant add to cart situation. I closed her up so you can get a better view of what she looks like. Now, I don't have a pure white leather bag. The closest I have is my Louis Vuitton Croisette in the Damier Azur print, which is canvas. So this actually is a first for me, and I'm so excited to see how I get along with a white leather bag. So it's not like a bright white, which in my opinion makes it easier to style. It has like a slight creaminess to it. So yeah, eggshell is a really good descriptor for it. And the fact that this also has a slight shine, it makes it feel like it's going to be harder to get color transfer on the bag compared to like a more matte leather. So we'll see. And it's not like a patent leather either, but it does have a nice subtle sheen to it. Let me see if I can show it on camera, and you can almost feel a bit of the gloss coating on it. I do like the fact that it has the 2 top handles. And again, yes, I've already used her. I put my Dior twilly on the front. I just couldn't help myself. I think it's so cute with the twilly on. Also, my hand fits very comfortably through the top handles, if you can see here. I also like the size of the postman lock. I think it's actually proportionate to the size of the bag. Now, one of my number one complaints about Mulberry bags is that I feel like the plate can be overwhelming on a lot of their bag styles. And because they scratch really easily, they just don't age well. And you can really see that on the pre-loved market. So I feel like this is one of the few styles from Mulberry where the postman lock is more subtle and there's just less plating surface area to scratch, you know? Also, this bag does come with a nice detachable, adjustable shoulder strap. Let me grab that. And so this is what the strap looks like. As you can see, it's not overly thick, and it's definitely not thin, so it's not going to dig into your shoulders. One thing to note though is that this is a crossbody bag. Give me a second, I'm gonna put this on so you can see what I'm talking about. So I have the straps attached now so you can see that if you decide to wear the bag with the straps, crossbody is the only way to go just because of where the D-rings are attached. If you were to try to shoulder it, this is what's gonna happen. But crossbody, it lays beautifully, and I'll insert some mod shots so that you can see what I'm talking about. Also, I am 5'3" for reference, and I have the setting right now on the middle hole, and it hits me right above the hips, which I really like because it is a white bag. Having it sit slightly higher means it's less likely for me, at least, to get color transfer from my pants, which are more likely going to be like jeans or some heavier material that is more likely to cause color transfer. So just keep that in mind that this is a slightly higher crossbody bag. Also, I know this doesn't get everyone excited, but I do love the fact that there are little D-rings on both ends of the strap. So you can hook like your own little key pouch to it, which again, if you know me, I'm 100% here for that, especially when I'm traveling in cities where I take public transportation frequently. And while I typically do lean more towards gold hardware, I also like the fact that the hardware is in silver and not gold because I think it just instantly gives it a much cleaner, modern, more edgy look. So let's open her up and take a peek inside. Now, from the pictures online, I thought the interior was a dark navy, but it's actually black. Like, how unexpected is that? Like, most white bags have really light colored interiors, which makes it super easy to get dirty, which is why I do have a bag insert for my Quisette bag, because I just didn't want to ruin the ballerina pink canvas interior, but that is such a non-issue with this bag. Also, speaking of navy, I saw that Mulberry now has a new color combo for their base water, and it says navy fine grain leather with a raw contrast edging. Like, can we take a moment to appreciate how beautifully crafted and put together that combination is? It's so low key, yet so unexpected. I am just in love with it. So I'm gonna keep my eye on that one, and maybe one day I may just have to add her to my family. So this was my last bag purchase for 2023. I'll do a more in-depth review once I get a chance to play with her a little more. I've only used her once, but in all fairness, I've only left the house once since I've gotten her. But I have all of my other bags here behind me, both designer and non-designer, that I have added this year. So in chronological order, we have my Karl Lagerfeld Aginess tweed flat bag in lilac, which I added in the spring. My Uniqlo round bag in the color bone, which my mom bought for me at the beginning of summer. So I guess I lied. I guess the Bayswater would be my second white bag. But this Uniqlo bag, I mean, it was under $20, but it was just a total workhorse. And this was pretty much the only bag I used all summer. So again, so unexpected. And I think this was what made me want to get a proper white bag. Plus the $800 price point is right around what I feel comfortable spending on a white bag. Like, I know I mentioned wanting a Lady Dior in the latte color, and before they had the grained version, I was all about getting the lambskin, but now the thought of spending that much on a lambskin white bag just sounds silly to me. So I'm super happy to have the Bayswater to play with in the meantime and to get more comfortable with the idea of a white leather bag. Then up next we have my pride and joy, the Hermes Her bag in the Burline coated canvas in noir with gold hardware. Again, this is one of my non-quota Hermes unicorn dream bags. I'm so happy to have been able to get her off the Hermes website. So happy to the point that this has knocked off the Kelly 28 permanently off the wish list. And then most recently we have the Bottega double knot bag in the lavender color, which I added in the early fall. And then we have the Dior mini book tote in the Toile de Jouy blue and white pattern. Again, added this mid-fallish, and now we have the mini base water and eggshell to round off the year. Like, what an odd looking bunch, right? It's actually kind of funny because when I'm just looking at these bags collectively, like, they make no sense. They're all over the place, just like this video. And I don't think anyone would be able to pinpoint my personal style and preference by looking at my bag purchases for 2023. As in, up until this year, I solely had black and brown top handle crossbody bags. And what this says to me is that I have my basics pretty well covered. And that what I'm looking for now are like bags that are going to spice up my collection or fill in some of the smaller gaps, like the colorful bags or the bags that are pretty but pretty useless, etc. And so I think it's going to be fun to take all of this into consideration when I'm creating and refining my 2024 wish list, which I do hope to share in an upcoming video soon. Anyway, I know this was kind of a sad but happy video on my recent unboxing fails and I guess successes, but I hope you still found it entertaining or helpful. So thank you so much for sticking around to the end, and I hope to see you back in my next video.